Hello, all my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. In today's Pick a Card Tarot reading, we are going to be discussing absolutely all of the urgent messages that you have to receive right now. These are messages from your angels and your guides that you cannot miss out on. There's a reason why you clicked this video right now. There's a reason why you're tuned in this very moment. And this is the perfect time for you to receive these messages. Now, in order for you to uncover everything that you need to know, I have 3 groups prepared for you to choose from. Group number 1 corresponds to the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck, as well as the Howlite Crystal Point. Group number 2 corresponds to the Muse Tarot deck, as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal Sphere. Group number 3 corresponds to the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, as well as the Azurite Crystal. But the timestamps to these 3 groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick and easy access from your mobile devices, your tablets, your TVs, and your laptops. So I will now provide you with a moment of privacy so you can meditate on these 3 groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you need a little longer to meditate on the 3 groups, and then I'll get right into your reading, starting off with group number 1, which corresponds to the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck and the Howlite Crystal. And to my other 2 beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamps. Hello, my beautiful soul of group number 1. You chose the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck as well as the Howlite Crystal to figure out all of the urgent messages that you are meant to receive right now. So this is the beautiful Howlite Crystal. I love its marble-esque kind of white, bright look. It's very elegant. It's very you, group number 1. And I want us to delve straight into these messages because I know they're going to be wild. I know they're going to be detailed. I can already sense from the cards that you're going to unravel some things that you never expected to hear. So let's get into it. You urgently need to know in the Angel of Miracles that you have a huge miracle just around the corner for you. And the best way for you to access this is to never lose your childlike sense of wonderment and be open to what if it does work out. Why are we always so focused on things not working out or what could go wrong when there's so many reasons why you can be the next success? You can be the next successful business owner. You can be that person that gets out of debt. You can be that person that finds their soulmate and their dream partner and lives their happily ever after. You can be that person that makes far more money than you ever thought possible. You can be all of those things. And I see here in the 7 heavenly virtues that you are unlocking the keys to goodness next within your life. So it was never about whether you were capable of it or not. It was never about, is it available to you or not? All of these things are here for you. They're here for the taking. But it was always about, can you see how worthy you are? Can you see how to grasp it? And once you get onto the wave, things are just going to start coming to you so quickly and effortlessly. And right now, this moment you're living, as you're watching and receiving this reading, this will be the good old days. This will be the time you want to come back to when they say, you know, more money, more problems, also more responsibility, more problems. You'll be so grateful for the fact that you have more of everything, but you'll also think to yourself, I should have enjoyed the simpler days more. I should have enjoyed the good old days far more often than I actually did. So group number 1, see this as a sign, a symbol, a calling to enjoy the now so deeply, to enjoy the fact that you have far more freedom now than you ever will have, and that you are younger than ever. Next up, we've got go with the flow. When you let things happen, everything starts coming in for you in very, very quick spurts. We spoke about you getting on the wave. We're literally receiving a wave in this card right now. I mean, Spirit couldn't be communicating any more clearly, also standing on these fly fish, and kind of sailing very quickly into one cohesive direction, and doing so with ease, right? There's no friction here. There's nothing within this card that is trying to say, oh, what's happening next for you, the urgent message you're meant to receive, is one of struggle or challenge or feeling like anxious. All of that doesn't exist here within your pick a card reading. It's really about you going with the flow and just enjoying it and making the best of every moment. Sometimes you can get so in your head and so in your anxiety that you forget that actually now is a moment to have fun. Yeah, okay, maybe you have a lot to do, but do you really need to mull over your to-do list at dinner with a friend or your husband, your boyfriend, your romantic partner? Do you really need to allow that energy to seep into that moment that you're enjoying with your person? Like, yeah, okay, maybe you want to build muscle, lose weight, gain weight, but do you really have to, until you've done it, feel bad in your body? Do you really have to overthink everything you wear until you have attained your dream body? I think not, group number one. And I see here within On Fire that once you understand that you're on fire, regardless of whether you've already accomplished your big to-do list or big to-accomplish list, it will put you on a whole different plane energetically as to where nothing can stop you. Nothing can come between you and your dreams. You are just on this lane of getting things done. It's like you are growing, you're making more money, you're becoming more well-known within your niche, within your field of expertise. People want to go out with you, they want to be friends with you, they want to date you. It's like everything is coming together all at once when you're on fire. Leave a fire emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know. Not only did you pick group number one, but you also receive this master number 44 that we've got in On Fire. And you understand that when you take these opportunities, you're just building momentum and stability for the future, because when people think of who to come to, of who to deal with, they think of you when you make yourself visible and available. But sometimes we struggle to put ourselves out there into the open. And that's where, with In Touch with Your Body, your guides are urgently trying to tell you, get in touch with your body again. Falling out of touch with your body is something that happens to absolutely everyone. Even fitness trainers, supermodels, people who you would look at and think to yourself, wow, this person is so fit, this person has such a beautiful body. They must not have any insecurity. They must not have any worry or any overthinking with your body. And let me tell you, in that way, we are all the same. They too have insecurities. They too have to work in order to be healthy and look the way that they look. They too have to get in touch with their body. So this is not the universe or life singling you out, group number one. This is simply a reality of the human existence, where getting in touch with your body, yeah, it has to do with you drinking these green drinks and eating leafy green things with fiber, but you can make it fun. You can coordinate what you're drinking with the color of your outfit. You can go to the gym feeling amazing because, well, you look good. However you want to go that makes you go, just go. And what I mean by that is, don't allow for the fear of other people's judgment to stop you from being healthy, because where will those people be when you're not feeling good, you're not wearing what you want to wear, when you're in the hospital because you never took care of yourself? Just obviously speaking hypothetically, if you were to really neglect your health, which you're obviously not doing, but your guides urgently need to say to you, get in touch with your body a little more to feel comfortable in it, by making yourself feel good every time you are out and about, and also literally using your body, literally moving it, literally making sure that you're getting the steps in. I go for 10K steps every single day. And almost every day I hit it because I set that goal. And I pair that up with the 369 manifestation method, which is incredibly powerful. And there you go. I've got it. So with In Touch with Your Body, make sure that you are spending a lot of time connecting with your health again. Set goals for your health, quantifiable goals. Like I just told you, 10,000 steps. It can be a stroll through the park. It can be you going to the gym or getting a walking pad and just leisurely walking while you're doing emails. Before you know it, you've been on the walking pad for like an hour and you've already answered all of these emails and you've worked out. That's goal setting and achieving them and hitting them. It could be, for example, that you meal prep 80% of your meals. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a boring life when it comes to food and nutrition. It just means you're planning ahead and you're planning for success and you're setting your goals, your targets, you're hitting them. And coming back to the goal of walking, another thing I'm getting here is literally you can get one of these, it's almost like these surfaces, these tables that you can put onto a treadmill if you're in the gym that can hold your laptop. So basically like a little desk. And I think it's very inexpensive. I think you can get it for maybe $20 off Amazon. And you can literally use that in order to get yourself to the gym more often, in order to get more done than you usually would. And you can do that in combination with also getting your work done. And here within the best case scenario, and another master number, here we have master number 33, group number 1, you're really attracting all of the master numbers, which speaks for your energy being on a level that it usually isn't. We've got on fire, then the best case scenario, which shows you don't need the umbrella, there's no rain coming your way, so to say, the stormy times are over. Set your goals and you will reach them and exceed them. You would be surprised at how many of your goals and dreams are beyond achievable and beyond doable. You would be surprised at you just making sure that you see images of your goals every day by making a goal or a vision board, which is when you either take a piece of paper or cardboard or a background and you stick images onto this that represent your goals. It could be an image of a very healthy relationship that is relationship goals for you. It can be a body that you want to attain. It can be a home that you want to live in, that you put a depiction on the board of. It could be outfits that you want to wear and slay. It can be, for example, a number in your bank account. It can be a job. It could be you starting a business, helping other people. It can be anything you want it to be. And that's what we stand for here on this channel. I like to say we are all psychic CEOs because we create our own lives. We create our own destinies. And we know that when we take control back, nothing can stop us. Moving more deeply into your reading, we've got the Star Keeper. What this card means for you, group number 1, is that you've got a cosmic ancestor in the room with us right now. Seed the light by staying grounded. Never allow things to get to your head, because I see some fame, some riches coming to you, and it's very easy for people to let that get to their heads. But I see that with you, you've always been kind of humble, grounded, an empath, a giver, and a natural lover. So you're not really the type to fall into the category of allowing that to make you a different person. And in Fall Into My Arms, I see that another reason why this is true is because your romantic relationships will always ground you. No matter how famous or successful you are, you'll always have someone who makes you feel less alone and whose arms you can fall into and surrender into. And you have these extremes of life where you're holding two opposites. I see that you have to receive this message because you need to know when you're going through tough times, you are meant to go through these tough times because you are meant to accomplish extraordinary things that other people will never accomplish. And that creates two extremes within your life. For one, the extreme of your accomplishment, being world-renowned, being seen as someone who is just an overachiever, who is on a super high level professionally speaking. And then on the other hand, you'll have your family life where you're just you, where you are just your person and people aren't judging you. People aren't thinking, oh, you are on a pedestal like they are in public. So having these two extremes, it's not conceited to say it's not easy. Just because things are going amazingly well for you doesn't mean that it's so easy or it comes so naturally. I see here within the Great Goddess that you are learning how to step into your divinity in a way that you never have before. The Great Goddess and number 32 are a symbol of you having a very magnetic energy, this Shakti Pa, as I would say, where when you are around another person or you even give someone the privilege of being touched by you, something changes within their energetic frequency. You are an amazing energy worker. If you have not yet looked into Reiki, if you have not yet looked into energetic aligning, into some sort of physical work, physical therapy, even yoga practices, you would be an amazing teacher, leader, and healer in these different fields. So if you've always wanted to do your own thing, or you have never known what your purpose really is, that's what I'm getting here for you within the Great Goddess. Finding your purpose through healing others, finding your purpose through opening doors for others, energetically speaking. So while you may do something that is very tangible, like if you're, for example, a nurse or a teacher, it is more of a tangible career than an energy healer, but even then, you are healing people through your energy because you go into your job with a different frame of mind than other people, with a different energy, because they may try to steal the recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same. You have your very own approach, your very own energy, and it is because your intention is always to heal and to help. And I see here, literally, Spirit confirms, you can't make this up. And Master number 44, which we already had in On Fire. Can you be any more divinely connected to your angels? Can these messages be any more called to being precisely for you? Group number 1, I think not. Within energy, call your energy back to you. It's time for you to step into this zone of taking your energy back and not succumbing to other people being the energetic vampires that they are with you anymore. They may now go somewhere else. They may now find a completely different victim. They can now go and figure out whom they're going to leech energy from, because it's not you. It's not going to continue to be you, group number 1, because you are taking your energy back to you. That person that you are trying to text, that you're trying to be friends or even lovers with, and they're giving you the cold shoulder, call your energy back to you. Why are you putting so much of your energy and your time into thinking about them, into overthinking how you're texting them? That job that doesn't appreciate you, that pays you pennies on the hour, that shows you time and time again that they don't care about you as a human being, be gone. Call your energy back to you. Literally put yourself out there in the job market, look for a different job, start your own business, create other streams of income, so you're not dependent on a place in which your energy is just being gulped up, gobbled up, but not reciprocated and never appreciated. Next up, infertility. It's time to think about family life and children. Group number 1, if you already have a mother or someone in your family who is getting on your nerves about this, I'm so sorry to bring this up within your reading. Trigger warning, don't sacrifice family for career. That's what your spirit guides are trying to say to you. They're trying to say to you, you can have it all. And family doesn't always have to mean children. Family can mean your romantic life, like being with someone and having a really deep relationship with another person. You don't have to sacrifice that to be successful in your career, because sometimes it feels as though you've got so much going on. When will you even have children or more children? When will you even find a new amazing partner? When will you even bring your relationship or your marriage back on track? You're so busy. When are you going to do all of these life-changing activities? And that is where spiritual work comes in. That's why you've received this message right now. Open your heart to a spiritual career and heal the human heart. You are a light worker. Group number 1. You are undeniably a light worker. You were put on this earth to heal and help others. You've always been a very empathetic person who can feel into others' emotions, often even better than they understand themselves. You've always been the kind of person who has a bit of a spiritual energy and aura about them and around them, and you have that je ne sais quoi. You have that unspeakable kind of it factor in a spiritual sense. So if there was like a spiritual it girl, that would be you. When I tune into the energies right now of fertility and spiritual work, if fertility is a topic that has been giving you struggles, either because you feel you're running out of time or it's just right now taking up your mind in a way that is unhelpful, like you feel negatively towards it because it is this topic of pressure or even pain, depending on what you've been through when it comes to fertility in the past years, I want you to ground yourself, to ground your heart, to remind yourself that it's nobody's business what you do with your fertility. It's nobody's business how you choose to live your life, whether you choose to procreate, whether you choose to find fertility something that is 100% either for you, not for you, or you're putting off, or you're interested right now, but it's not really the best moment. It is really your time, group number one, to live your best life when it comes to your family planning. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Literally, if you are, for example, pregnant watching this, I just want you to know here, within fortitude, everything will go well on your fertility journey. You will birth a healthy child. If you are right now not on your fertility journey, have the courage to have this lioness energy of like, when you want what you want, family-wise, fertility-wise, it is meant to be yours. What's meant to be will always be. And because you're in touch with your body, which is also why your guides want you to get in touch with your physical body, you are in mint condition. You are in amazing health. So obviously fertility won't be an issue. Things like this only become an issue when we don't take care of ourselves and we allow for our overthinking to have negative effects on our physical body. Next up, we've got the Dawn of Cups. Now, the Dawn of Cups shows us here some water sign energy, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. This person is extremely curious about you. This person wants to know more about you. This person wants to get closer to you. And I see that this is the type of person you will meet through your spiritual work, who gets you, who understands you, and with whom you share a lot of commonalities with. Now, within the Dawn of Cups, I want you to understand here that this is an opportunity for you to make a new connection of someone with whom you will grow with. So this is not something that is just romantic. This is a connection that will allow for you to grow in a spiritual sense and also grow in a business sense. And I want us to add some letters into your reading as well, group number one. So we have K-A-O, and then we have E as well. So one thing that I'm getting here is this canoe energy, which a canoe would be one of these little boats that you can sail with, that you can go on the water with. So I do see you kind of leaving everything that you're used to. And then we also have the letter D. So one thing that I am getting here is this doe vibe. So doe eyes, something very soft going on. And furthermore, also code. So a code that will be revealed for you, a code that you can use, group number one. So I do want you to know here that you should write down all codes and passwords for things to, for example, enter into garages with, codes that allow you to disarm security systems as well. I see here that there is a code that's given to you that will be important and that will save you a lot of trouble. But the only way you'll be able to access this code is if you've written it down, is if you can remember the combination of numbers and letters. So write down your codes, secure your passwords in one extra space, because you will be thankful that you did so, group number one. You're going to be thankful that this is something you ended up doing for yourself so that you saved yourself a lot of trouble in the future. And I see here with the area of your life that this will profoundly affect, this is the area that makes you happy. This is your overall satisfaction with life. Now, to feel in control, to feel happy, to feel as though you're in a space where you don't have to wonder about your security and your certainty, make sure that you keep all of these things incredibly safe. Double back it up, put it on an external hard drive, and keep it in a place where you know you can access it and only you know where these things are. So group number one, we are going to delve a little more deeply into your reading. I am getting the sense that we have far more messages that need to be uncovered for you, far more urgent messages that you must receive. So you don't have to lift a finger or do a thing. Simply hold on tight as I clear and cleanse the space for you, and then I'll be right back for us to delve even more deeply into your reading. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number one. Let's delve a little more deeply into all of these messages that you must receive right now. So we've got the Eight of Wands, so we've got the bow and the arrow, we've got you being very much focused, and then the Ten of Cups. A message you have to receive is that what you're focusing on achieving in your private life, whether it is a happy, successful marriage, a family, you being with your dream spouse, dream soulmate, you are pointing your energy towards it. You have got your bow and arrow. You have got your goals set out for that, and you will reach that. It is confirmed by your guides in the Ten of Cups, Zehn der Kelche in German. So I want you to know here that you are aiming for what you're going to receive because you are putting real thought, real energy, real life force into accomplishing it. And when you really want something, you always end up getting it. When you really put your mind to something, it's not that you're a stubborn person in a bad sense, but you're stubborn in the sense of if you really want to accomplish something, you will. And when it comes to love and relationships, you may have sometimes felt as though, oh, you're not sure if it's going to be the same for that area of your life. You're not 100% sure if you're going to thrive in the same way. But in actuality, group number one, you really are. And this is an important message that you had to receive because you've been doubting yourself way too much in this area of your life. And you've been doubting yourself unnecessarily. There has been nothing more unnecessary than your self-doubt in the areas of your life that are about love and relationships and what your life is going to be like privately and romantically. Next, we have the Sun in reverse. So I see here in the Sun reverse that this is going to be a progression from where you are right now. So it's not an overnight thing. It is a slowly but surely getting there and enjoying every single stage of change and growth, and your accumulating success. With the Sun reverse, I do see that it's really important for you to focus on your happiness overall and who can make you happy consistently. So rather than being crazy in love or falling in love, focus on someone with whom you can grow in love, someone who gives you security and certainty. Let's not forget that through Hollywood and the media, usually stories have to do with a crazy type of falling in love. It happens quickly, there's drama, there's deceit, there's uncertainty, and we learn to put that on a pedestal or to think that that's normal, or in the end, the two main characters end up coming together and then they just end up living happily ever after, even though they went through some trials and tribulations. And of course, once the movie is done, we don't see how it actually continues. We don't see the next trial and tribulation. So we are conditioned to think that the end is once we live happily ever after with another person, when there's actually so much more to it, group number one. There's so much more to a relationship that is constant work, that is constant dedication, that is constant putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, and also constantly having to work together with another person. And the thing here is that just realizing the fact that every part of your existence, whether you're single or in a relationship, is so beautiful and such a valuable experience, is what sets you apart from others. Because I see here in the Three of Swords, and we have this heartbreak situation and scenario, it's that through heartbreaks and hurts, you have grown so much. You have become this person that everyone looks up to and everyone thinks, oh my God, like you've gone through some really huge disappointments, especially with other people betraying you. And the thing is, yeah, you had your grief, you had your moments, you cried, you screamed, you were down and out, but you never let it keep you down for very long. You never allowed it to change who you were at a core level. You never allowed that to transform you in a way that was irrevocable. You never let that change the fact that you are just a kind, giving, generous person, group number one. You never let that change all of the positives about you that people love you so much for. So the Three of Swords, as you can see here with the tear, the Three Swords, you experience heartbreak, and after that, you found yourself again. You found your strength, and that's where the Eight of Wands comes in, where you realized you have to set out a goal, which is a healthy relationship, which is healthy connections, people who don't hurt you, who don't disappoint you to this degree, and set your target and then go for it. No excuses, no looking elsewhere. And I do want you to know here that when it comes to your love life and your relationships, the more goal-oriented you are and the more you know what you want, the less you're actually going to tolerate anything that isn't that. And here I see in correlation to the Tower that everything that isn't built on solid foundation, and where you have this kind of psychic ability to already sense that someone is perhaps not sincere or that they don't want to be with you for the right reasons, I see here in the Tower and the Three of Swords, that's going to crumble, it's going to fall apart. It's never going to really take off that much. It's not really going to lead to anything, group number one, because you won't allow it. You're just not interested in that kind of connection. It's not for you. And the Three of Swords as well as the Tower, it just shows us here that what is meant to fall apart will, and you're not going to be sad about it because you're already on to actually accomplishing your goals and your dreams. And I see in the Four of Pentacles that you are literally the most giving, generous person. You are so caring to the point where you would give someone, even a stranger, like the last shirt off your back if you saw that they were homeless, that they didn't have anywhere to stay, that they were in the cold. You will be cold before you allow someone else to be cold. And that is what so many people see in you and admire in you, because a lot of people don't have the courage and the self-belief to go without for a little bit, because you have this abundance mindset, group number one, and you truly see in yourself someone who will always replenish their funds, who will always have new opportunities and possibilities, whether that be in love, whether that be professionally, in your career. You never feel as though, oh, you're stuck in a place forever. And that is what makes you generous and allows you to give so freely, because you do have this true innate self-belief that regardless of what happens, you'll find your way again. And you've proven to yourself and to others around you time and time again that this is true for you. You're not just making this up. This is your personal reality. You overcome obstacles, you move on to the next. I see here in breaking into bloom, sometimes you will break before you bloom. Remember, group number one, there are times where you will find yourself feeling like you're falling apart, feeling like everything is just way too much for you before you bloom and blossom. Sometimes you will truly go through a phase of just being down and out and feeling completely broken before you see the beauty. If you are a business owner, sometimes you'll go through a phase where you're not sure whether your business is going to make it, whether you're going to have to ask someone to lend you money, to support you, to be there for you, until you turn the corner and suddenly you are fully into bloom. You are fully blossoming. You're fully liberated from scarcity and from this feeling like you might fail, and from quite literally also failing and losing everything, losing your money, your mind, your sanity. So I just want you to know here that very often before something amazing happens, you will have trials and tribulations that make you feel like giving up. And the thing here is that Spirit is trying to communicate to you in this next card, it's okay. I don't know what I'm doing either. None of us really truly know what we're doing. Even if we're putting on a brave face and this big front of being someone who knows what they're doing, sweet oblivion is a message of uncertainty, of seeing humor in the fact that none of us actually really knew whether we would make it or not. Even the most successful entrepreneurs had their own self-doubts, their own challenges and trials. And what your guides are trying to say to you here, group number one, is Don't compare yourself to what you see on the surface, because what meets the eye is never the full truth, and it's never the full depth of what someone is going through. What meets the eye is never everything that you are meant to know. It's only what you are allowed to know. Remember that. Now, it's also for you here in this message, a truth that has to be unraveled. What's coming next for you will show what you're really made of. Now, being generous, even though you don't have much yourself, you've always been really good at that. You've always been the kind of person who, regardless of what your struggles might look like, you still prioritize others. You still help out other people. You still look for ways in which you can just be a good human. And group number 1, that's rare, okay? You are a very rare kind of person, a dying species, if you will. And I see here in the 6 of Wands that what this means is energetically you are destined for advancement and greatness. You are destined to be recognized for this sooner rather than later. And the thing is, you are humble. You don't put yourself on a pedestal, but I see that you will be put on a pedestal sooner than you expected, and you might even feel a little bit embarrassed about it. So being put on a pedestal in the sense of, think of when someone is getting a Nobel Prize. So you're going to have that on a smaller scale perhaps, but you being honored, you being put on a bit of this stage situation where someone is listing all of the amazing things you did for them, for those around you, and people just coming together, and I see them clapping, I hear them cheering, I see them saying that you made such a big change and they want to give a little something back to you. Being honored also with more financial reward. That's what I see here. It was never about that for you. You've never been a super materialistic person. But of course, taking a little bit of pressure and burden off of you, since this is life and material things are part of the human experience, it's just going to feel so much lighter than it did before, being honored in a way where you're getting a kind of satisfaction in the earthly realm, which is the 10 of Rings specified as well. That's why you received the 10 of Rings next in your reading, because the 10 of Rings is the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles correlates to everything in the material realm, as the suit of Pentacles, which is the suit of Rings, is about material things such as time, money, your health, also the way that you choose to spend your earthly resources and your energy. So everything that's more or less really finite, and the number 10 is a number of complete culmination and complete satisfaction. So don't forget, sometimes you will break, sometimes your numbers will go into the red, into the minus. You'll have to invest, even though you're still losing money, you'll have to invest in those books. You'll have to invest in that space for your business, in that product, in that mentor, that coach, that accountant. You'll have to invest in the online course, in the web designer. You're going to have to invest in the things that bring your business forward, and exactly the pain points that you needed to be elevated. And when you overcome that hurdle of not wanting to invest in it, you will be rewarded tenfold. I see that within the 4 of Rings. Got that message in the 10 of Rings, and now next we received the 4 of Rings, which shows us that there's such a frugal part of you as well that knows how to honor every single dollar and everything that you receive. And the 4 of Rings is about being practical. So it doesn't mean that you're not a practical person if you're investing in yourself or in your business. It doesn't mean that you're living lavishly. It doesn't mean that you're being wasteful. All right, every entrepreneur, every business person, everyone who has upped their self-worth and value will tell you that sometimes you have to invest more in yourself than you see coming in during certain months, obviously not constantly, but you have to prove to yourself that it doesn't matter whether the world or money tries to tell you that you are validated, that you are verified to give yourself these things. You give you permission. Group number 1. You are the one who says when to invest. You are the one who says what you want to invest into. Also what you want to put your time into. I see here in the 4 of Swords that really what comes next for you in this next week, after you receiving this reading. You'll be a lot more antisocial than usual, and you may be asking yourself right now, Vanessa, I barely even leave my house. How can I be even more antisocial? I mean, energetically speaking, you are retracting yourself so much into solitude because that's where you're finding deep healing around father wounds. That's what I'm getting here within your reading. We've got a phallic symbol, a masculine symbol. I see deep healing around wounds that you have with fatherly figures and male figures who have disappointed you, who have made you feel as though you cannot count on them, and the only person that you can truly count on is yourself. And here in the Four of Swords, and we have this solitude, this healing. What is born out of this situation that's super beautiful is this confidence that you didn't know you had to this degree. It's this internalized understanding that you've got everything that you need within. You don't need anyone to validate you anymore. And in the past, you may have liked some validation, like we all do. I mean, we're all human beings. Who doesn't like a little bit of validation every now and then? But the thing is, you used to need it a little bit. You know, that's why you were on those dating apps late at night, scrolling, talking to some of these people for cheap dopamine hits, and then never actually meeting them, never actually spending more time on them. That's why you went late at night to McDonald's to get those fries, to Burger King. You needed some sort of validation. You needed that interaction. That's why you allowed for your ex to treat you the way that they did. That's why you let that family member talk to you in this kind of derogatory way. And we have Y, E, and A. Yeah. So Spirit is trying to say to you that Spirit is extremely excited for what's to come next within your life, because this is all finally in alignment. You know what it's like to be out of alignment. You know what it's like to suffer, to go through hardship, and to be walked all over. And that time came and went, but now it's really a time for you to thrive, group number one. And nothing is going to get in between you and your thriving. So let's see what message Spirit has for you. We've got scent. You pay close attention to scents, and a scent is to fill something with a distinctive odor, especially a pleasant one, or to perceive somebody or something by smelling. You have this innate ability to pick up scent very differently than other people, so you read a lot into it. It's almost like you can smell if someone is fearful, you can smell if someone is arrogant, you can smell if someone is lying. Another thing I'm also getting here is that scents are often what take you back down memory lane. So you'll kind of notice a specific scent and it will take you back to your childhood and back to a very, very specific place. You will remember the memory as though it's happened yesterday, and that is an indication as to where some of your childhood wounds and patterns are going to start to release some emotion so they can heal up. Because that's what I'm getting as a huge message for you, group number one. A lot of wounds and pains need to heal because you've underestimated your own strength and value and capabilities due to how you grew up. And now that you want to live a life that is limitless, you have to learn to kind of dissolve that, and you have to learn to kind of step up into being your own, I like to always just call it your own psychic CEO, to step into being your own boss, your own commander, in your own driver's seat. And you never actually thought you were as strong as you're going to show yourself that you are. And it's going to come as a really beautiful surprise where you have this confirmation from yourself about how much you've grown and how much of a different person that you are right now in the best possible way. So group number one, this is the reading that I've received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a sun emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you watched your reading all the way to the end and that you were part of group number one, because that's the only way anyone would know. Furthermore, group number one, don't forget to subscribe if you watched all the way to the end. We clearly vibe with one another. It's free, it's easy, just hit that subscribe button below. and I'll catch you during one of our upcoming readings. Hello, my beautiful angel of group number 2. You chose the Muse Tarot deck as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal Sphere. Let's get straight into your reading. So, in case you weren't aware, the Rose Quartz is a crystal of friendship, love, unity, and a feeling of trust between you and others. So let's get into your reading and see how this is reflected in the urgent messages that you had to receive, and see precisely what your guides need to say to you right now, group number 2. First up, we have the Three of Voices in reverse. Now, let me tell you, this is the Three of Air. This is the Three of Swords in the traditional tarot. And upright, as you can see, it shows us someone who is in despair, someone who isn't in a good place. Whereas reverse, what this means is you're finally escaping from and leaving a place of despair, leaving a place of not feeling good, of feeling alone, of feeling as though life has no meaning, no sense, and why are all of these things just coming to you, happening for you, that you really just want to escape from, whether it's troubles in your love life, finances, finding yourself, your purpose, and what you even want to do with your life. All of these thoughts are coming to a standstill of you finally knowing what you want out of life and finally being guided towards who you truly are. Then we've got the Nine of Emotions and the Eight of Voices. Now, we've got an ending to depression here for you, an ending to feeling so terrible about certain aspects of your life that you've not even told your closest friends. You haven't even told your mom, your best friend. It's like you just keep this to yourself. And here within the Nine of Emotion, this is like the wish card of the tarot. It's the Nine of Cups, and it's a card where your manifestations come to fruition. And the Eight of Voices shows me you've been so laser focused on some of your manifestations that have not yet come to fruition, that when you finally get it, it feels as though it has been ages, like you're not even impressed anymore. Like when you finally are able to land that dream job, or you can finally get your dream vehicle, move into your dream neighborhood, it just feels so natural and meant to be because you've had it in your mind for so long. And sometimes, group number 2, I'm getting this message that you forget to celebrate. Like you forget to take a moment to really celebrate the things that you've accomplished and that you've done up until this point. You will accomplish something, you'll do something amazing. You'll finish a huge work project, you'll clean your entire house, you'll answer like 20 emails. And instead of thinking, wow, I did that really well, and take like a moment to celebrate, you'll just be on to the next. You won't even notice that some people literally don't do as much work as you do in one day the whole week. And for you, group number 2, that is, by the way, strong Virgo energy, that is strong Capricorn energy. But I want you to know that what this means is you are at risk of burning out without even noticing it. And that's why you urgently had to receive this message. It's so that Spirit could let you know, hey, celebrate your wins. Spirit isn't going to give you one of these messages that everyone gives you, just saying, slow down, take a break, go on a vacation. Okay, we knew all of that. But if you are a little bit of a workaholic or you're a driven person, you've got goals, you're not going to listen to that anyways. So Spirit knows how to speak to you. Spirit is trying to tell you it's not about taking time away. It is about you celebrating every step you take forward. It is about you celebrating every time you do something that took time, energy, patience, love for you to complete the way that you did. And just giving yourself a little bit of extra time between the completion of one important task and you beginning the next one. Next, we've got the Two of Materials. And Spirit is trying to say to you, once you learn this, once you learn to step into your personal power of knowing how to celebrate your wins, knowing how to ensure that there is this space, this time frame between accomplishing something and starting the next. Once you master that, group number 2, sky is the limit, because you will constantly have fuel internally and psychologically to do the next things fearlessly because you are constantly fueling yourself with positive, lighthearted, and very much supportive energy in yourself. So the Two of Materials really shows us here that you maintaining a balance between work and what just has to be done, between work but also celebration and your private life, the more you learn to find what balance works best for you, the more you will surpass everyone that you went to school with, everybody that you know, everyone who's watching you. Because the Two of Materials also tells me a lot of people are watching you. Group number 2, a lot of people that you went to school with, a lot of people on social media, they're watching what you're doing and they're wondering when you're going to crumble, when you're going to fall, when something is going to happen that they can then say, see, I told you it wouldn't work. They are literally, ooh, I see that here with an awakening reverse. You have a lot of people who are jealous of you. And in awakening reverse, I see that these are people you don't even talk to. And a lot of them don't know you. A lot of them literally, they just like know your name. You maybe went to the same school or lived in the same neighborhood. Like you know some mutual friends of one another, but you can feel in their energy that they're judging you, that they think about you far more than you think about them because you honestly never even think about them. And I do see here that they are going to have to just, I don't even want to say it because it sounds a little morbid, like they're going to have to perish in their jealousy. Group number 2, because you're not stopping. You're here to take bold, messy action and you're going to keep doing it until you hit success. You do not care about whether someone likes how successful you're becoming. You don't care whether they agree with it. You don't care whether they think, oh, this is like a great thing, or you should, you deserve it, you don't deserve it. It's none of your business. You don't care. Group number 2, you are so beyond caring about society giving you validation, and that's what a lot of people are afraid will continue to happen with you. And here in Illusion, I can see that you've always been a truth teller. You've always been the type to embrace the truth, to be very sincere and honest, especially when everybody else would rather look the other way or would rather continue to lie to themselves and to lie to others. You embrace the truth. You're literally the one where when everyone is too afraid to say, oh, you know, like Zoe didn't show up to work. She actually called in sick even though she wasn't. She was at a concert. Or Stefan is cheating on Laura and nobody would ever dare say something to Laura, but everyone knows and it's this awkward energy and the only one who doesn't know is poor Laura. No, you are not going to continue playing that game. You're not going to put yourself and the person who is going to be hurt the most, Laura, continuously into these situations. You're going to say the truth. You're going to break the illusion because you yourself prefer for people to tell you the truth, even if it hurts and it's uncomfortable, rather than living in a lie or with a lie. That is something you can't stand. You are allergic to it. And I see within vacation that what is also going to be really evident to you is that all of this time, so vacation in correspondence to our illusion card, what that actually tells me for you, group number 2, is like you thought all of this time, oh, I can't take a vacation, things are going to stop, they're not going to keep rolling, I'm not going to be as successful, I'm not going to make as much money, things are going to crumble without me in the business, without me going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, I can't just leave, I can't just take time away, I can't go on a solo vacation, it's irresponsible, it's selfish, I can't, whatever the excuse was. And then for some reason, you are going to be forced sooner rather than later to go on a vacation. And I want to figure out precisely where this vacation is going to be. And then you're going to realize it was never about taking the time off and then everything's going to crumble. It was just psychological. Everything will keep going and be just fine, group number 2. You literally were stressing for nothing. We've got D, we've got Y, and we've got T. So one thing that I am getting here is Daytona. Daytona has all of these letters in it. What I am also getting here is United States, right? United States would have D, Y, and T within the names. Then we also have Dayton in Ohio, and there's also Daly City. Daly City is another one that I'm getting here. So you're traveling, group number 2. You are like on your magic carpet and you're learning how to travel and work. You're learning how to have fun, do what you want to do, and still thrive professionally. You don't have to choose, and you can have it all. And you thought that it might have not been possible for you. It's like you see other people having it all, but somehow you didn't think that was applicable to you for whatever reason until you started doing it, which is what you're going to accomplish next in your life, group number 2. And you'll be like, oh, right, I am a lot more powerful than I've given myself credit for. Oh, right, I have a lot more going for me than I actually realize. That's what I'm getting here for you. And the Six of Wands, it shows fun. It shows you having the best time. It shows you thriving. It shows you really understanding that you are the prize. You are hot. You are free. And it's time for you to show off that gorgeous body and hair of yours. That's what I'm getting in the Six of Wands. You're working on your hair, so oiling it, taking good care of it, getting your split ends trimmed, putting hair masks in, putting a silk pillowcase on, silk scarf at night, making sure your scalp is being massaged and is being massaged in circular motion so that your follicles are being stimulated and hair growth is happening, and just being in this space where you're doing a lot of self-care more deliberately than you have before. Special focal point on your hair, but also I'm seeing your legs. So a lot of leg days at the gym, a lot of activities where you're walking, you're trying to get those 10,000 steps a day. Next, we've got the Chariot for you, group number 2, which shows freedom, but also fast forward movement. And this card connects so well to vacation. As you can see, this is almost the same pose that we have here, right? In vacation, we've got you and this childlike sense of wonderment, so you connecting to your inner child again through travel and freedom. And then with the Chariot, we also have you riding on something that's bringing you forward, right? That's fun. You've got your arms in the air. We have that twice here in the Six of Wands and the Chariot. So what comes next is fun. What comes next is more carefree you. We've been missing this, group number 2. This is a part of you that you have kept away in a cupboard and in a closet for longer than you really should have. And I see here in the Ace of Cups that this will also attract a lot of attention for you, romantically speaking. Group number 2, let me just make sure this is in focus. There we go. Group number 2, you don't understand how quickly you can meet the right one and just know it's the right one, move in with them, get married, and have kids, for example. The Chariot shows me here that you're moving very quickly towards love being extremely fulfilling. And even if you are in a committed relationship or a marriage, there are changes, there are ups and downs, there are different journeys you go through with your person. The Chariot shows fun, quick, confident, forward movement, and you going for what it is that you want. Especially when it comes to relationships and love, the Ace of Cups shows that you're all in, going straight for this new beginning in your emotional realm because you understand you deserve it. And I also see here that you need a vacation from bad relationships, because you are always the unpaid therapist of people who are in the most terrible relationships, not to be judgmental, but just people who really shouldn't be together. And it's hard for you to even tell them without it coming off as you being this relationship expert. You understand it's not that you're a relationship expert, but you have to say to these people in these terrible relationships, you're like, I don't know, but like, shouldn't your partner at least like you? Shouldn't they at least kind of care about whether they hurt you or not? So for you, it's clear as day. For a lot of other people, they're still behind mentally. And because you have grown so much and you understand so much about relationship dynamics and also attachment styles, it just really puts you ahead of the curve in dating, in love, and also in developing further existing relationships in your life. So even if a situationship comes back, you can very clearly see and evaluate whether they have actually grown or whether they will forever be too far lagging behind to ever catch up to you. And that can be a very painful but real realization as well. And nobody ever talks about this, group number 2. It's the reality that hits you when you're ghosted or when you have a situationship that doesn't work out. And the reality hits you that even if they were to come back, even if they were to beg to get back together with you, the truth of the matter is you've put in so much work and healing, and they are so unaware and so immature. Even if they started now doing work on themselves every single day, 12 hours per day, they still would not catch up to you in any foreseeable future. It will never be able to work out because they are so unaware and they have the emotional intelligence of a carrot. Please leave a carrot emoji below in the comment section if you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about, and also just to claim your reading for group number 2. And the 8 of Cups is a completely clear mental image of you choosing who you want to be with. They get to line up, they get to have all of their ducks in a row, and then you decide who is good enough for you, who is mentally even capable of getting you, of understanding you, of being on the same level as you, because you have just realized it's not about you not being good enough. It's not about you not being lovable. It's about the fact that you are too far mentally, and you always are the reminder to a lot of people of how much they didn't follow their dreams, how much they didn't follow through on what they said they were going to do, how much they thought that they were this great person, but actually maybe they still have to put in a little bit more effort. You are definitely like the insecurity triggerer, group number 2, and because you're a bit of an insecurity triggerer, this is something that you've got to be careful with around people who have more power professionally, because they might use that to stop your growth because they feel threatened by you. All right, so feeling threatened is something you do to many people, and that's where Spirit is trying to say to you, have foresight. Pay attention to things that are important to ensure wealth. Be farsighted and alert. And remember, one of the rules, the golden rules of power, is to never outshine the master. Be good at what you do. Put a little bit of shine out there, but you're going to want to make sure that you always polish the master and you never outshine the master, because that will very quickly turn into resentment from the person who is higher up in the ranks than you, from the person who is basically your boss. So have foresight in that. Be strategic until you have overtaken them, and then spread your wings. Shine the way that you're supposed to shine, the way that you know only you can. Next up, we've got the direction card for you. Direction is about not deviating from your path and attracting a mentor if necessary. Plan where you want to be. This is a card in correlation to foresight that is about planning, but also understanding you will pay either way. You will either pay financially with money, or you will pay with your time, with all lessons in life. It's like if you're not healthy, you will either pay with your time to learn on your own how to be healthy, to learn about nutrition, or you can pay money to a personal trainer and they will tell you everything that you need to know very quickly. You can save yourself the time and the energy and move in the direction you want to move, which is healthy, which is maintaining your body, building muscle, whatever it is that you want to go in your direction. So attracting a mentor if necessary is a great way for you to save time, because time isn't money. Time is greater than money, because if I were to offer you $1 million today and tell you, if I give you this $1 million, your life ends tomorrow, you would not take it. So time is more valuable than money. Time is greater than money. So saving your time rather than making painful mistakes along your journey, whether it's with your nutrition, your fitness, whether it's with your health as well, your business, the ideas that you have for entrepreneurship, whether it's with your education that you're going through. Speak to people who have done things that you find inspiring, that you look up to, and use them for direction. Use them in order to more quickly and effectively get onto your path without risking you stepping into a lot of pain. Okay, so losing a lot of time, losing even more money in the long run when you could have just done it right the first time. That's what I'm getting here in direction and foresight that your guides are trying to tell you. It's never a mistake to invest in yourself, in your own knowledge, in your own intelligence, because group number 2, you are far more intelligent than you give yourself credit for. And you are being told to get that book, to go to that seminar, to take that extra class, to invest in the personal trainer, to get that nutritional class, to get those organic foods and make those new recipes. You won't regret it, and especially then being fueled up with more energy than you've ever had before, you will thank yourself because you'll be able to accomplish so much more. Now, group number 2, this is the reading I've received for you up until this point. I will now proceed to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back for us to delve even more deeply into all of the urgent messages that you are meant to receive right now. So group number 2, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to do a thing. Simply hold on tight, and I'll be right back to guide you even more profoundly into your psychic reading. Hello, group number 2. Welcome back to your reading. Did you miss me, group number 2? Let's delve a little more deeply into the urgent messages you are meant to receive right now, and we're going to delve into 3 profound months for you of the year that Spirit needs you to know more about, which is February, January, and April. So all pretty much at the start of the year, you have some profound messages about all of these different months that you must receive. And I want to see what the energies are in a numerological sense, so you know precisely what to look out for. So from January, we have 1221. This is a number sequence of taking initiative, change, optimism, joy, communication, and it is about working with what you have, and it will get you places. Count your blessings and acknowledge your dear ones. You will find inspiration and figure out a way forward. You might also be getting some good news soon. My gorgeous soul, this is what this means when you see 1221, and you will find this number is following you around, and it's almost creepy to the degree where you're like, why does 1221 keep following me? Why is it like 1221 and I just checked the clock right now? What is going on? Since Vanessa told me about 1221, all I'm seeing is this number, and it's constantly reminding me to take initiative, and I just always feel like I need to take action, which is great, because only through movement and action will you accomplish your biggest goals, and will you receive the prosperity that is destined for you. The Ace of Shells is a card of prosperity. This is a card of abundance also in your relationships, like you already kind of connected to the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Shells is this card that tells you all about yourself when you are in a space where you're ready to receive. Because I see here in the Ace of Shells, you're finally ready and willing to receive compliments. You're finally learning how to allow other people to treat you kindly instead of just like you are an afterthought. It's you growing into your I deserve better energy. That's what I see here in the Ace of Shells. And then we have the Four of Shells, which shows us you've always just wanted security. You've always just wanted to have people around you that you can actually count on. You've always just wanted to have people in your life and in your space that you feel not only get you, but would also be there for you if you really need them. That's what I see in the Four of Shells, and security for you. And because you have realized not everyone can be that person, but that you do have people who would do anything just to see you happy, who would do anything to make sure you're okay, that shows you that you've been placing a lot of your energy in places that, quite frankly speaking, they didn't deserve your energy. And between January and February, I see this culmination of you focusing so much more on your family and friends and a partner that really values you, and completely forgetting about this situationship that hurt you, because the Ten of Shells is an understanding you want to leave a legacy. Compared to the generational trauma that you were left to dealt with, okay, you will maybe not be a perfect parent either all the time, but the Ten of Shells shows you want to leave legacy, you want to leave an empire, and in order to do that, you need a fitting, matching partner who is fit for this kind of thought process and lifestyle, and fit enough to emotionally understand that you have done so much inner work. You're not going to deal with childishness. You're not going to deal with someone who doesn't know how to self-reflect, or who feels really threatened by your success in the earthly realm, financially and professionally, because I do see that that's where you are most likely going to outshine your partner. You might out-earn them or outshine them through accomplishment, and the Two of Knives shows that so many times people would never admit this, but they felt like they stood before a choice of being with you and constantly being confronted with the fact that you work harder, smarter, and more effectively than them, that you have accomplished more than them, that you are wealthier not just financially but also emotionally than they are, that you are more disciplined than they are. And the Two of Knives shows me that often that made people feel like they had to cut you out of their life, and they will never admit this. I see between January and April, you will literally have two people cutting themselves out of your life. You'll ask yourself why, and it's because they don't feel good enough to be around you. You trigger them. You make them feel like they are inferior, and because of the pride, the ego, they don't even understand this themselves, that that's what's going on with them internally when they're around you. They just think, I don't feel 100% myself when I'm around this person. I don't know, I feel kind of uncomfortable around her. I feel kind of uncomfortable around them. And to you, you may not see it that way or even understand it, because you've always been so down to earth that you just don't get it, group number 2, how impactful your energy is. You just don't get it, how much people not only feel insecure around you, but how much you can trigger people. You just don't understand how much of an impact you have energetically speaking. The King of Pentacles sees you and thinks, I need to get to know this person. I need to get to know her. And why I'm saying her is because, according to my analytics, a lot of you do identify as female. The King of Pentacles literally is someone older, someone mature, someone well-established, someone who knows what they want, someone who is a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Stellium, someone who just has this very cool, collected, very hot kind of energy, because you love when someone has confidence and they don't need to try to tear you down or humble you just to feel better about themselves. Not only do you love that, you don't even tolerate people who do it the other way around anymore, because you've been there, done that. You know that that leads nowhere. And the Eight of Cups, again, you get to either disapprove or approve. You are no longer the one who is giving yourself away on the discount rack. You either approve of someone or you disapprove. If you don't want to be around another person, you just won't. You'll just remove yourself from the situation. If you feel as though someone is trying to play this game of turning the dynamic into whether you will chase them, they will be running by themselves. They will look back and they will have to notice that actually nobody is chasing them. Because what you're not doing, group number 2, is you are not chasing another person. You are not giving them the validation that you are pedestalizing them. The High Priestess shows that you've realized you are the goddess, you are the one who is so far removed from the norm that it's painfully obvious, and it's painfully obvious to all of us but you, group number 2. And the High Priestess is about you balancing, of course, being your humble, caring, kind self, but then also realizing like you can expect good things for yourself. You can allow yourself to sometimes be a little more confident than you have been up until now. Okay, you don't always have to downplay your accomplishments. Actually, you never should. Group number 2, Spirit is telling me you so often downplay everything that you've done. You just think it's not a big deal. Like, oh, it's not a big deal that I got a raise. It's not a big deal that I'm doing a different job where I have far more responsibilities. It's not a big deal that I graduated, that I'm pregnant, that I'm starting my own business, that I'm starting a new social media for my company. Like, all of these things are worthy of celebrating. And especially if you either had parents or friends who undermined it or made you feel almost uncomfortable to share these things, it does reflect later in life in your behavior and you downplaying your own things. And your star ancestors, I'm getting great grandmother energy, is trying to say to you that she would have wanted you to 100% step into your highest confidence, your biggest power, and remember just what a freaking star that you are, and that literally sometimes all it takes is confidence. All it takes is you making yourself visible through being confident and putting yourself out there in the light. If you are a business owner or an aspiring business owner, that might mean creating a reel for social media, some sort of video where, yeah, you film yourself talking about your service, about your product, about what you've developed in the daylight, no filter, just raw you, and that will attract so many more people because it feels real, it feels relatable, it feels like something that others can connect with. And in the activated earth, I see that the more real that you are, the more that you are being led towards who you're meant to be and your highest self. So your great grandmother energy is telling you to look a little deeper. There is some lost wisdom in your authenticity. And the more you have put yourself under the radar, been worried about posting and putting yourself out there and promoting what you're doing and promoting your dreams because you're afraid of what others will say, the more you are actually kind of deactivating being the best version that you could be. You're deactivating your dreams. And your great grandmother is trying to say to you, it is now a time for reactivation. It is now a time for you to understand, hey, I must step into speaking up about how amazing my work is without feeling like it's conceited, because there is someone whose life you would change for the better by putting yourself out there more. There is someone who is going to feel so happy that they came across exactly your service, exactly what you offer, if you literally just allow yourself to put yourself out there. Your life is a canvas. You are the artist. Manifest everything that you want, but also take creative accountability of the fact that when you are the artist, that also means that it is quote unquote your fault that whatever is on the canvas right now. That whatever you see right now is what it is. All right? And you feeling as though you want to blame yourself, that isn't helpful, but be accountable. Be real with yourself about the fact that, okay, your skin isn't great, but what have you been drinking? What have you been eating? What have you been watching that has been psychologically stressing you out, spiking your cortisol levels? Who have you been hanging out with that's been stressing you out? What's that boyfriend, that situationship doing to you? What's your husband doing to you? Why are your hormones out of whack? You know, perhaps you have been an accomplice to your own pain. Perhaps you have been an accomplice to your own development of a work of art or part of your canvas having art that you don't like. But that's okay, and that's the beautiful thing about art and canvases and paintings. You can always paint over what's already there. You can create something else. You can use other colors, other textures. You can make something completely new. And I want you to always, always remember, you're not a hypocrite for expanding your reality. When people say, oh, you've changed, you're a hypocrite, you've changed your opinion, you've changed everything about you, you're not the same anymore. Yeah, well, duh, that's the whole point. Evolving, growing, transforming, that's the whole point. Anyone who isn't growing and learning and evolving should be worried for themselves. Rather than looking at why you're evolving so much, they should be worried about why they are growing and evolving so little. So I want you to know here that any way you want to paint your canvas, it's your right, and you get to repaint it as frequently as you want in whatever colors that you want. You want to be in nursing school today, go to nursing school today. 3 years from now, you want to open up your own beauty clinic, open up that beauty clinic. Maybe in 10 years, you want to start your online business because right now you just don't want to do that. Right now, maybe you want a brick and mortar business. Maybe it's the other way around. You want to start your YouTube channel now, which, by the way, already when I started my YouTube channel, people said it was oversaturated. So it will always be too oversaturated. There will always be a reason not to. But what you're going to do, group number 2, is you are going to find the reason to do it. You are going to find the reason why you will. Now, next up, we've got the Earth School. So in the Earth School, we've got life lessons for you, soul growth, studying, higher learning. The Earth School shows us here that what comes next for you completely unexpectedly, but what's very important is that the more you are outdoors, breathing, spending time in nature, the easier that you grow professionally and also psychologically in ways that you didn't think possible. I realize that whenever I feel like I don't have time to go for a walk, to be outside, to get some vitamin D from the sun, actually, when I still force myself to just make time for it, to make time for me and my health, I always come back with new and better ideas. Like just today, it was freezing cold. It was -5 degrees here in Zurich, Switzerland. Es war ganz schön kalt, muss ich ehrlich zugeben. Mir sind fast meine Ohren abgefahren. And I was going on this walk in the forest near my home, and literally, I had to force myself to go out. My fingers could barely move, it was so cold, but all of the ideas that I had running through my brain for my channel, messages that came through from spirit for readings, for reading topics, for ways in which I want to evolve this space, grow this space, it was just so insane, such a huge confirmation that, yeah, nature is that powerful. And we forget it, we downplay it, we often don't realize just how big of a deal nature really is. And I just want you to realize that connecting to your soul, connecting to nature, taking time out, fresh air, sometimes you think it's a waste of time, but actually it will give you those ideas that you need to get to the next level 10 times faster than if you're just overworking yourself constantly and just constantly trying to rack your brain around a way how you can make your life the way that you want it. Sometimes a little bit of distance and a little bit of breathing room is just what you need to create your next masterpiece. Now, group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful, group number 2. Let me know below in the comment section by leaving the number 1221 below and claiming it, manifesting it. Also, you guys, very exciting. I mentioned it in my last video, but I just want to mention it again for all of you who are new. My Bow Life app is now live. So my business, my first business was called Bow Life, is still called Bow Life. And when you get any of my free or paid courses, but start off with my free mini courses, I'll leave the link below. Sign in with that same email and login information and password into the Bow Life app, and then you'll have all of your products there in the app, and you can also use the community. So if you've got both of my free courses, they will both show up in the Bow Life app. So you might have my free tarot reading membership, you might have my free manifestation membership, then it will show up there. You can watch all of the modules on the go, take all of the classes and the readings on the go, and also use the community area on the go. It's so fun, and I wanted to create something where, of course, for all of the products that I have, I really wanted to create something that was also accessible for free, that you could not only try out, but you can really use for growth and personal development, because my goal is always to provide you guys with as much value as possible. And honestly, I have such an amazing life. I've created so much abundance and happiness and health and wealth for myself. I want to give back as much as I can, and I want to do as much as I can in a feasible way that is just accessible to anyone and everyone. So make use of this, you guys. I put a lot of effort and love and energy into making it very beautiful and easy to navigate and professional, and just all of the things you would want for an app to be, where you get tarot readings and manifestation content. So it's all below in the description box. Make sure that you get that while it's available, and I'm sending you all so much love wherever you are on our gorgeous planet, and I cannot wait to connect with you during one of our upcoming readings. Hello, my beautiful soul of group number 3. You chose the Spirit Animal Oracle deck as well as the Azurite to figure out what urgent messages that you have to hear right now. So trust that this choice that you made is going to give you the exact message you have to receive in order for you to not only heal but thrive. So let's get into it. The Azurite is a beautiful crystal that helps you to step into your highest self, and we will now figure out, starting off with the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, precisely what messages that your angels and your guides have for you right here and right now. So first up, we have got the Owl Spirit. You see clearly now. My beautiful soul, when it comes to clarity and understanding who's your friend, who isn't, how to improve professionally, how to live the life you desire, how to manifest, how to just upgrade your life in every sense of the way, the Owl Spirit shows that you see clearly now how to do that. You see clearly how to become the queen, the empress of your life, or the emperor, depending on who you identify as, because I know I also have some lovely men here on my channel. And the Owl Spirit is all about wisdom, in combination with you knowing your worth, wearing that crown, and not allowing for it to slip away. Next up, we've got the Squirrel Spirit. The Squirrel Spirit being your spirit animal, it resonates so beautifully in conjunction to the Owl Spirit, because the Squirrel Spirit is all about believing in yourself. Now is a time for you to believe in you. Now is a time for you to understand, hey, if I really want to take big strides forward, I just have to have a little more confidence than I've had before, because I'm going to have to put myself out there. I'm going to have to say what I want, what I tolerate, what I won't. And I also just have to be myself unapologetically, because think about it. All of the people who have visibility, all of the people who are amazing at their business, or who are in relationships with partners that adore them and love them, they're not afraid of losing anything. They're not afraid of not winning or succeeding. They just take bold and messy action. And this is a time in your life of doing just that, taking bold, messy action. Next, in the Rhino Spirit, you'll overcome any obstacle. Group number 3, if you were worried, well, what if I run into trouble? What if I bump my head? What if my business idea doesn't work out and I go broke? What if I don't find a partner that truly cares about me? What if I'm heartbroken at the end of it? What if my friends think that I'm weird, that they think that I think I'm better than them because I've changed, because I've upgraded, because I've leveled up? Group number 3, you will overcome any obstacle, and all obstacles will also reveal what's best for you. Because genuinely speaking, when you level up, the conversation won't be the same like with every single person that you had in your circle. Some people will be jealous. Some people will understand here in the Rhino Spirit that when you have an obstacle before you, you break through it. You're not like them. You trigger their insecurity of when they encounter an obstacle, they are too afraid to break through it. or they don't want to put in the time, energy, and effort that it takes to change something about that obstacle being right before them. And you're different, group number 3. And when you're different from them, it can make it very evident what they're quote unquote lacking or what they think they are lacking. And the thing again, what they think they are lacking is just 100% in their head. It's not that you think they're lacking. It's not that you would ever tell anyone that they're inferior or that they're not good enough. You've never been that type of person. You've always been the type of person who lifts other people up. You've never put yourself on a pedestal. Actually, even if you have more reason to think highly of yourself, you still are humble enough to feel as though you're on the same level with anyone, no matter their education, no matter their socioeconomic standpoint or background, no matter what they're going through. You always like to look at every single person from a fair perspective of wanting to give them a chance and an opportunity. But people, you have to remember, my gorgeous soul, not everybody has your heart, especially in this day and age. Not everybody is as kind, as caring, as compassionate as you are. And sometimes you go out into this world kind of thinking other people have the same heart, and then it's like a rude awakening when they don't. The canary spirit tells me here that that's where you have to be a little careful with whom you share your goals with. If you share your goals with a small-minded person, they will knock your goals down. They will make you feel as though your goals are too much, that you are kind of reaching for stars you shouldn't be reaching for, or that you're being greedy, especially if you have big aspirations professionally or financially even. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. And I hope that you know, group number 3, this is a safe space right here. You don't have to be ashamed about the things that you want. A lot of these material things that exist are here for us to enjoy. Like, for example, being able to purchase a safe home for your family, to give back to your mother, your father, your grandparents, to take your family on a vacation, to one day take your kids, your grandkids on a vacation, maybe already doing that. Because I know I have followers in every age range, from every kind of background, every corner of the world. It's not something that makes you greedy or makes you any less spiritual. You simply want to experience everything that life has to offer. And you're allowed, group number 3, and no one should ever make you feel bad for that. And on that note, you guys, I do also have a free mini manifestation course. I'll link it below in the description box. And when you sign up to that, you can use the same login for my app BowLife. Log in with that. That's also completely free. Yes, of course, all of my courses come with the app, but I also wanted to make it available for free because honestly, you guys, creating value, giving to you, opening the pathway, the doors for you to create abundance in your life. That is what's most important to me. I want to give back. Like, I have a beautiful roof over my head. I have amazing food that I can eat. I can choose whatever I want to eat every single day. I have clothes that protect me when it's cold as F here in Switzerland. I am able to purchase clothes that I can wear even when it's cold here in Switzerland and go out for a walk and still be warm. Running shoes, like, I am good. That is my abundance, you guys. And I want you guys to have the same and more. I want you to have everything that you desire. So check that out as well, because it is an additional resource if you're into manifestation and so on. Next up, we've got the wolf spirit for you. Turn knowledge into wisdom, literally. Turn the things you're learning, turn the knowledge into wisdom. I read this beautiful quote a while ago, and it went something like, wisdom is just crystallized pain, which I absolutely loved. And it reminded me of the fact that we don't need groundbreaking new techniques. You don't have to learn something that is so out of this world and so new and insane and crazy that's going to turn your life into exactly what you want it to be. You simply need to be reminded of the truths that you already know. You don't need to learn something new. You have to be reminded of what you already know. You have to be reminded of the knowledge that you already possess. You're not lacking. You simply are in a state where you need to learn to remember. And remembering is like grandparent, great grandparent, and ancestor energy that I'm getting here for you, group number 3. And in the journey, I want you to go down that journey that your ancestors made and remind yourself how privileged you are right now to have this internet connection, to be here, to be enjoying your tarot reading, to be connecting with your ancestors, to be connecting with your grandparents, your great-grandparents, just because you can. Just because you can see things from the viewpoint of, wow, they went through so much, so I can now run, so I can now thrive, so I can now live my best life and really create an existence for myself that I'm proud of. And the 1090 ratio is a card that I created in my Wild Muse Oracle deck that's all about life really being 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Nothing in life is good or bad, it just is. Nothing in life is out to get you. It's just about, do you see it as something being out to get you? Or do you understand that life is literally just providing you with feedback? Life is just mirroring your energy. And you decide whether you continue to perpetuate energy that you desire or you don't desire. You decide whether you continue to live in a space where you say life is happening to you, or you can take the reins back into your possession and say, you know what, life is happening for me. I don't care what anyone says. Everything is here to teach me a valuable lesson and to make sure I am in the energy of master number 44, which is the number of being on fire. Being in a space where no one can tell you anything, group number 3, because guess what? You have got that glow. You've got that unspoken it factor. You have got that fire. Nobody is going to stop you. Nobody is going to tell you that you can't do anything. You've got the squirrel spirit with you. I know it sounds funny when you look at the squirrel because it's such a small little, almost silly creature, isn't it? But this beautiful mammal, the confidence that the squirrel has, all of the ways in which the squirrel also stores away nuts for winter, for the times in which it will be hard to survive. The squirrel just plants its seeds everywhere, quite literally. Squirrels plant trees for us. I want you to know that Spirit is trying to tell you to do the exact same thing. Keep planting, keep showing up, keep being confident. You never know which nut, which seed is going to turn into a full-blown tree. And then you will be able to reap the rewards from that. You will then be able to harvest the fruit, right? The seeds that you sow are definitely going to bear so much more fruit than you expect, especially when you sow, especially when you're unafraid to sow seeds so freely. Don't be afraid to give extremely freely, especially if you have entrepreneurial aspirations, philanthropic aspirations, or when it comes to your professional life, you still want to really level up. And let me tell you, the biggest trick to this, to abundance, is making sure you give freely and in the energy of, I know this is going to come back 10 times over, 100 times over. And why it will continue to come back 10 times over is because Spirit, my angels, my guides, they know I'm generous at heart. And what I will then do is I will put out again. I will give out again once it's come to me. And being generous of heart is really a frequency that is felt because abundance, material wealth, all of these things need to be in circulation. And I want you to know here within On Fire, your guides are trying to say to you, stop being stingy with yourself, invest in the things that you love. If you want to go travel, go see the world, travel, it will give you that next business idea. If you want to cook more healthily, invest in the healthy foods. You'll have more energy and brain power to take in information that will then make you do everything that has to happen to be successful enough to always buy your favorite groceries and have the time to make your favorite recipes. You have to start living like the highest version of yourself to become that version. That version doesn't happen and then you start living as them. You have to live as them ahead of time. And I want you to know here in the 5 of Coins reverse, this is a highly, highly favorable card to show up in reverse because upright, this would show a time of not having enough, of being in need, and of financial and material loss. But because this card showed up reverse, it means the exact opposite. This is a time of material and financial gain. This is a time of you leveling yourself up professionally. This is a time where you have more than you need and you are living in abundance. You have triggered this, not just by receiving this reading right now, my gorgeous soul, have you triggered yourself to become wealthy, but by being in the mindset of giving, of understanding that these are just tests. When you're having a bad month or a bad quarter, and you still give freely, 100% within the faith, within the belief that everything will be just fine, guess what? The universe will mirror that for you, group number 3, and you will be blessed beyond measure. Next up, we have the King of Wands. Someone with this King of Wands fire sign energy, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, they're leaving your life. This is fatherly, very strong male energy, so I'm getting very toxic masculinity here. It can also be a grandfather who is leaving your life because you can't deal with the toxicity anymore. So they're leaving because you are done with their behavior, and quite frankly speaking, you don't want to constantly be looked at like a piece of meat. I see that here in the King of Wands, that you're not tolerating it anymore. To a certain degree, you understand age gaps, misogyny, and that some people just still think that way. But then to another degree, you know what Spirit is telling me? A boss who is super misogynistic and so in this toxic masculinity, and you're not putting up with it anymore, and you don't care if anyone says that you're bitchy, you don't care that anyone complains about your RBF, or shall I say your resting neutral face, not your resting B face, more eloquently put, but you don't care because you don't owe anyone a smile, you don't owe anyone some sort of soft feminine facial expression. When are they making your life soft? Are they giving you a reason to be soft with them? Have they given you a reason to give them a soft feminine energy, aura, or facial expression? That's the question we should ask first. Why is it always for the woman, or shall I just say the person who is seen as needing to give feminine energy? It can also be in a setting where there is a boss and the person working for them identifies as male, but they should be the friendly one, they should be the one smiling, they should be the one sucking up. Okay, but as a boss, have you even created an environment in which people feel comfortable to do that? Because that's your job as a boss. Your job is not to just take and to use people for labor. Your job is to make sure that they can thrive, that they can become their highest selves, that they can fulfill their dreams and their aspiration in some way while also doing work. That is good leadership. And I see anything that is not good leadership, you're not into it. The Queen of Cups reversed shows gossiping. You're leaving the circles of gossip. You had girlfriends, even mom energy is what I'm getting here, stepmother, sister-in-law, okay, auntie energy, of constant gossip, constantly talking about others, constantly talking about things that are kind of low energetic vibe and frequency. And because you're noticing how it's not affecting you negatively to the degree that we should be worried, but you're noticing it's not helping you. Like, it's not lifting you up. So you might as well just not spend that time in that energy and that frequency. You might as well not spend time with those people, because literally it's not helping anyone or anything. The Seven of Cups is indicative of the fact that for you, group number 3, you have a lot of options for friends and romantic partners. So the thing is, you don't have to stay stuck with negative Nancys. You don't have to remain around people who are just constantly very much gossiping, very much in a negative kind of headspace, or in this headspace of, oh, life is 90% of what happens to me and only 10% of how I react to it. No, you're very much looking to connect with people who also see the world as their oyster and as a playground of opportunity. The world is here for the taking, group number 3, and even by you being here on my channel, receiving this pick a card tarot reading, you are already in the energy of receiving, of being amongst a network of people who also believe in themselves, who also believe that the world is here for the exploring, for taking, for those who are brave, for those who see themselves as worthy, and you are now amongst the ranks of those who feel that way about themselves. You have been in your little space, in your shell for long enough, and you have outgrown it, so now you're busting out of it. And it's about time, group number 3. It is really about time you bust out of it. And I love whenever I get like DMs from you guys and emails about how I've inspired you to start your own business or do something differently and just literally step into your highest selves. And here within Accord, the message we've got is to give somebody or something a particular status or treatment, to be in agreement or come to an agreement, to bestow something such as blessing on somebody. That's literally what we're doing here in this reading, okay? You are receiving the status of a winner. You're receiving the status of a champion, not because this reading or I or your angels are knighting you or giving you that. You have given yourself permission. Okay, you have given yourself that accord. You have finally realized you don't need someone else to validate you. The only validation that you need is your own. You don't need someone else to tell you that you're awesome. The only person that you need to think that you're awesome is you. And that realization and getting this urgent message right now, it's putting you on a whole nother stratosphere than those around you. So don't be surprised if your friend circle changes in the next weeks thereafter you receiving this reading, but you will always level up. Leave a flame emoji below in the comment section to manifest you leveling up, to manifest living your best life and being fearless about it and knowing that the right people, the right friend circle is always going to find you at just the right time. And that some people will be in your life forever and some people are seasonal, and that's fine. You've learned to accept it, and you've learned to not just live with it, but thrive on being that emotionally intelligent. So group number 3, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back for us to delve even more deeply into your prediction. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to lift a finger. Literally, all you need to do is just continue to relax into this space, and I will be right back for us to delve more deeply into your urgent messages you have to receive right now. Welcome back, group number 3. Did you miss me? Let's delve a little more deeply into your reading, shall we? Because Spirit is telling me we still have quite a bit to uncover when it comes to urgent messages you need to hear. So we've got imperfections and charisma. A lot of the things you see as imperfections with you actually make you very charismatic. And remember, love is a beautiful mess. Embrace its imperfections and know here within charisma, love flows to you. You radiate charisma and charm. You are far more charming than you think that you are, and far more seductive than you've ever given yourself credit for. Now, the thing with you being seductive is that your imperfections, once you learn to stand in those, once you learn to, for example, see that your body, your face, your skin is stunning, beautiful, just how it is, and you start to stand confidently in it, sky is the limit for you, group number 3, because you being so charismatic, you being in a space where your imperfections aren't stopping you from connecting with another person romantically, from being comfortable behind closed doors. Let me tell you, my beautiful soul of group number 3, that makes you unstoppable when it comes to your love life, but also in business. Because being a charismatic person professionally, it opens a lot of doors for you. Ooh, we've also got passion. Keep the flame of passion alive. It's the heartbeat of love. Remember here, my gorgeous soul of group 3, being passionate means keeping the flame of passion alive at all times. What Spirit is telling me to do here, try something spicy, try something new, try a new outfit that makes you feel hot, that makes you feel seen, that makes you feel seductive and sensual. And if you don't have anyone to wear it for, group number 3, I literally do this myself too. I wear very hot, spicy, beautiful outfits for myself. I pour myself a nice cold glass of coconut water. I sit in my living room in the evening. I make make it a vibe, an atmosphere. I light my scented candle that I know is toxic, but everything in this world seems to be toxic, but that is my guilty pleasure. I like to enjoy that. I read my books and I romanticize myself, my body, and my life. And I keep my own passion alive, because I know when the right person comes, then I will share that passion and I will be ready and I will feel confident because I've already practiced it with myself and I didn't need someone to validate me or my body or my appearance. And Spirit is telling you, group number 3, to not be afraid to step into your sensuality, because that too will have you be a lot more charismatic. Even just thinking about it right now, straighten your posture, straighten your back. Make sure that you are sitting up tall wherever you are. Make sure that you're leaning into the fact that, yeah, you are beautiful. Yeah, you can be extremely charismatic. And also, being in a passionate relationship with you, nobody would need more than that. The Four of Cups tells me here that is more than enough. Being with you, not to say that you take up so much space. It's not that. It's that you are such a giving, well-rounded individual. From a very young age, you learn to multitask. You learn to know a little bit about everything. You are able to prepare healthy meals. You know a little something about exercise. You know a little something about politics and geography and other cultures. You are the kind of person that has always had an affinity for other languages and art. It's come easily to you. You connect very easily with other people's creativity, and you're a very creative person yourself. You've always been able to problem solve with ease compared to your peers and compared to siblings that you had in your life, and also cousins. Now here within the Hanged Man, one thing that I am getting from Spirit that you have to receive as a really important message is to view your life from the perspective of someone looking in from the outside in, and that will reveal everything that you need to know about why some situations seem to baffle you. Like when people say, oh, you probably have had an easy life, you probably are rich, or you come from an affluent background just because you're clean, you're put together, you articulate yourself well. They don't understand that you have your own origin story. You had your own struggles, the things you had to go through. It didn't just come easily or naturally, first and foremost. And then secondly, it's like that assumption couldn't be further from the truth if they were to know what you had to go through to become this person. So even if you had certain privileges, I want you to know that your hardships and your struggles and the toxicity you had to endure and heal from, it doesn't show. Spirit needs to communicate to you that the way you see yourself, because you know the details, you know your story, you know what you've been through, you know everything that happened to you that molded you into the person that you are today. Remember, other people don't see that. They just see what's on the outside. They just see what's on the surface. And that can trigger in them just this thought that, oh, well, you must have had an easy life. You must always have it easy, especially, and not a lot of people will talk about this or be comfortable with this, especially if you either have a very youthful face, like you have a baby face, or you have a body that is considered pretty privileged. People will always kind of downplay your struggles. People will always invalidate what you're going through more quickly than someone who they deem to already have this struggle in life of not fitting in or of not being as pretty or as cute or as privileged as you. But reminding yourself of this also comes with the opportunity of understanding that you have to sometimes explain a little further. Next, we've got the Justice card. Spirit is allowing us to delve more deeply into the fact that if you want equality and justice, you sometimes have to really communicate your feelings and what you're going through without making it the other person's job to kind of just understand you, even though on the outside, your life seems to be so much more put together than what you have had to deal with. Nobody can know that, Group number 3. Nobody thinks that. You hide it so well. You conceal a lot of the imperfections, the flaws that you have, the things that you've been through. You conceal it like no other. And that comes with pros but also cons. And the 3 of crystals is a clear symbol from your guides. It's time for you to now let those walls down, group number 3. It's time for you to stop shutting everyone out. It's time for you to let people in. You need to start trusting your selection process when it comes to the people whom you're letting into your life and whom you're letting into your heart. You have learned lessons. You have been mistreated and stung, and you've been through the ringer. You've experienced a lot of things that I would not wish on anyone, but that doesn't mean that you have to be closed off forever. That doesn't mean that you are unable to make an informed decision of who you let into your life next. Trust yourself, trust your decision making, trust the fact that, yeah, you can decide to let someone into your life, and that person will be a good person who won't betray you and who has your best interest at heart. Remember here, my gorgeous star seed, you're a light worker star seed. You've got a double mission. For one, you're a light worker. You're meant to spread light. You're meant to bring a certain support and healing to this world. And then as a star seed, you're also meant to stand out. You were always meant to be different. You're always meant to be the kind of person who walks into a room and heads turn. People notice your energy. Even if you're not trying, even if you're not made up, you're not wearing anything special, heads still turn because you just have a starseed frequency, energetically speaking. And you serve the world by being you. That's your double mission of being a light worker starseed. And in cracked open, Spirit can see it is really time for you to crack open your vulnerability and to trust yourself to be vulnerable around people again, because you don't have to live in this confined space forever in a sense of you feeling as though, oh my goodness, I can't open up, I can't show anyone what I'm going through or what I'm feeling because they will use my kindness and my openness for weakness. Group number 3, that was once, that is a phase. You have taken out anyone who would do that out of your life. You have removed all of the sharks. You are now surrounded by a lot more kind, docile species like sea turtles, for example. We've got a lot of anemone, okay? That is the kind of energy you've cultivated, and now you get to enjoy that. What I also see that will come next is a huge unexpected surprise, but you have to receive it, is a message. A message that is bringing this serious energy. Now, serious energy means that this message will actually bring harmony and balance into your life. The message that you're going to get here is a text, it's a phone call from someone coming back to tell you how greatly you have impacted them in a positive sense. One thing that I'm getting here is a lover who's coming back to tell you how thankful that they are that they got to meet you and got to have you within their life. And they are going to confess to any mistakes that they have made and any ways in which they have hurt you that was just wrong. And they feel guilty for it. They feel ashamed of it, group number 3. And they're going to tell you that. Okay, that message will come to you. And that is because you are just so clearly a shining, bright, very kind, pure-hearted light, and some people just don't know what to do with it once they get it. I see here in the King of Cigarettes that this is someone who does know what to do with you. This is someone who does know how to honor you, is what I mean to say with that. Now, the suit of cigarettes corresponds to the element of fire, so we've got Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy in the suit of cigarettes. The King of Cigarettes is an old Aries, Leo, Sagittarius type of energy. So that means that biologically they are probably older than you, and they are a true old soul. Not like all of these young, knights of cigarette, pages of cigarettes who are saying, oh, I'm an old soul. Oh, yeah, I am mature. But then in their behavior, you can see that they're not. No, group number 3, the King of Cigarettes has experienced a lot in their private life, but also professionally, that has shaped him into who he is. He is truly a mature old soul. He is a giver. He is caring. He is the kind of guy that is so confident in himself that he is not intimidated by someone like you. someone who has this light worker starseed energy that is just so clearly expansive and out of the ordinary and can intimidate most people because it just shows them, quote unquote, what they lack. It just shows them the fact that there are some areas within their life that perhaps they need to start to clean up in, that they have maybe not been so brave in. But the King of Cigarettes doesn't need to feel that way, doesn't need to feel self-conscious around you, because the King of Cigarettes is leveled up, which means the King of Cigarettes is successful, is healed, does work on himself, is emotionally intelligent. So why would he need to feel any way? Why would anyone who is quote-unquote leveled up have to feel self-conscious around you? They would celebrate you. The conversation is different around high achievers. Now, the Seven of Cigarettes tells me here that what you are doing next that is really important is you have to quit an unhealthy habit. Here it is depicted in a form of cigarettes. It might quite literally be cigarettes, but let me tell you, unhealthy habits. It can be vaping, it can be eating sugar, not exercising. Maybe you have another addiction that has slowly grown out of hand, okay, even shopping, for example. How about you shop for books, group number 3? How about you shop for education? You shop for going for massages, healthy foods, and then actually eating them, organic things. Sometimes what you have to do is redirect an impulse that you have and a slight addiction to something that is positive and healthy for you, because we all have urges and we all have ways in which our dark side and our shadow side has to be able to exist and has to be able to also every now and then express itself. And giving that a safe playground to be in is really important for a lot of us, because some of us, we can't get over some of our addictions from one day to the next. Some of us will never get over some impulses and coping mechanisms that we've developed. But redirecting it is really important. I, for example, started to notice that my coping mechanism when I was stressed to procrastinate was to eat. And I started to ask myself, okay, but first of all, this makes me unhappy because then I eat my addiction, which are very sugary kind of foods. And I mean, processed sugars. I don't mean necessarily always fruit. Sometimes it's very processed. And then I feel really bad because I get this sugar high and this crash, which makes me feel so low energy. So I knew that I had to figure out what is the root of this, and when do I start feeling like, oh my God, I need this, I need my addiction, and I start grabbing the sugars and reaching for it. And then I started to realize it's every time I'm triggered and stressed and I want to procrastinate something. So then what I started to do is, once I started to notice it, I could then intervene, and I could then say to myself in my head, okay, but Vanessa, you're going to sit down for 20 minutes. The inevitable will still have to be done. Like, the task is still there. It's not going anywhere. And it's not going to help. You're not going to feel better afterwards. If anything, you're going to feel worse. So this isn't actually helping. It's just kind of buying you an extra 20 minutes, which isn't doing anything good for you anyways. So sometimes just being honest with yourself, taking that step to evaluating, okay, what's the trigger? Why am I doing this? What am I hoping to get out of this addiction? And am I actually helping myself by giving into the impulse in this way? Or can I redirect it? And then what I've started to do now is redirect it to something healthy in the form of telling myself, yeah, you can eat like the sugary popcorn now, but it's not going to help. But you know what is going to help? If you do that task and then you sit down and you ask yourself, do you still want the popcorn, or do you want something healthy, or are you not even hungry at all? And you'll be so much more proud of yourself for handling it that way, getting the task out of the way that you were procrastinating. And then if you do want those sugary sweets and treats, actually being able to enjoy them wholeheartedly and not eating them stressed out, because all you're doing while you're eating and shoving it in your mouth is thinking about the task that you need to do, that you're fearful of, that you're anxious of, and that you're procrastinating. You see, that's how you break out of these cycles, and it takes a little bit of practice and awareness, but you can do it. The thing here within the Five of Rings is what you're being given back is your autonomy. For a long time, you felt as though what is stopping you from truly recovering from some of these coping mechanisms that aren't helping you is the fact that you felt powerless. But now, for example, I gave you an exact formula of how you can identify these unhelpful behaviors, how you can redirect them, and what emotions might come up for you, group number 3. So take this information and recover. Take this information and use it. Don't just sit here and listen to it. I always want you to be able to quite literally use all of the messages within these tarot readings to translate them in a way that can change your life for the better. So the Five of Rings is really about your recovery. It's really about you letting go of feeling this insecurity towards yourself because you feel like you can't properly control yourself, but actually get to the bottom of why you feel like you have this loss of control in your life, and then you can regain the control. Because it's not hard to do. You just have to start to stop yourself when you feel like you're losing control, and then regain the power. Remind yourself you are in control over your mind. The Ten of Wands is a card of challenges and responsibilities that you have to hear of, because you know what? You are the strongest person in your friend circle and in your family. And with that, yeah, it comes a lot of responsibility and often a feeling that this is a challenge because you're stemming a lot. And because you're stemming a lot, give yourself outlets, okay? Give yourself days where you do nothing, or even permission to do weekend getaways, solo dates. That's something that I give myself permission to do. You guys, I live in a country like Switzerland and Zurich. It's not exactly a place that is super open-minded. It's very conservative. People stare at you all the time. And literally, I go on solo dates. I do not care if the entire restaurant is staring at me. I go on my solo dates. I take my planner, my manifestation journal. I manifest. I plan my upcoming week. I plan my content. I plan exactly what I want to do within Psychic CEO. I plan what I want to do with Bow Life, with my decks. I plan all of my goals and aspirations that I have, what I want to accomplish next, regardless of what front of my entrepreneurial ventures that it is on. And I just take that time for me, because I'm giving myself permission to not only go out and have a delicious meal served to me, and being in a very privileged position to be able to do so, but also taking the time away from my work environment, away from anyone else. I can hear my own thoughts, and I dress up for me. I fulfill my own fantasy. I fulfill my own date requirements. If I want to buy myself flowers, I will buy myself flowers, because if that is how I want to be treated on a date, I'm not waiting for someone to do that for me. I know that it is my responsibility to make me happy, and if I put that responsibility into someone else's hands and into someone else's power, then that is just breeding ground for disappointment to fester and to be the next step. And that's also why a lot of relationships fail, or a lot of relationships struggle, because people put so much responsibility and power into their partner's hands, and often their partner doesn't even know how to cope with it, doesn't even know what to do with it. And neither person in this predicament is a bad person. It's just we have been trained by society. We have been indoctrinated with this thought that a romantic partner has to be our everything. They have to be our best friend, our business partner, our therapist, the person that we have this hot love story with. They have to be our confidant. They have to be the person that we work out with, that we shop with, that we travel with. They don't have to be all that. Trust me, you guys, even if I am in a relationship, I am still going to take myself on solo dates, solo travels, because you have to remain autonomous, and you have to make sure that your happiness is dictated by a place that comes from within, that you know you can always tap into and you can always access. And an important message that you are meant to receive, group number 3 here in the Ten of Wands, is that you do so well and you give yourself such little recognition. It's time for that to stop. It's time for you to finally give yourself the flowers you deserve, to rest on some of your laurels, because you are always worried that you're going to rest and celebrate for too long. But when did you rest and celebrate last, period? Let me know, group number 3. Like, I am dying to know, because I know you won't be able to actually tell me. Like, if you recently celebrated, please let me know below in the comment section. Like, leave a star emoji below, let me know. I'm sure there will be a lack of star emojis. There will be a lack of star emojis below in the comment section, because I know, group number 3, you chose the Azurite. I know for a fact you do not celebrate yourself enough. You don't celebrate your accomplishments enough. You never stop to take a breather and celebrate your wins. You are always doing for everybody, and you are always squeezing out the last bit of life force that you can to please. But now it's time for you to please you, group number 3. Now it's time for you to romanticize your life. It's time for you to do the things you want to do. It's time for you to wine and dine you and to make sure that your happiness is always within your own control and power, because you are not only a powerful and intelligent being, but you deserve to be happy every single day of your life. And the way that you can assure that is by stepping into your highest self, living the life that you want to lead, and seeing yourself at all times as a beautiful, unstoppable light worker starseed who is here to fulfill their double mission and who is walking in the precise path that was created just for them. You are in the perfect place right now. You are right where you need to be, group number 3. If you needed confirmation, this is it. And I trust that you will continue to lean into your purpose, group number 3. And I just know for a fact that these upcoming weeks are going to be weeks of fulfillment and abundance for you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. Group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you, and I truly hope that it resonated and that you found it insightful. Always feel free to let me know below in the comment section. And of course, if you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's easy, it's free. The button is just down there in bright red, and that way you will never miss an upcoming video and an upcoming message that you are meant to receive, group number 3. Group 3, wherever you are on our gorgeous planet, I'm sending you so much love from Zurich, Switzerland, but soon actually Arizona. I am so excited to see you guys who have booked my masterclass in Arizona, to see you guys who have booked a VIP day with me. I cannot wait to teach you everything about tarot and manifestation and to do readings together. I just love it. I love my community. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you during one of our upcoming readings.